All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to Save America. My name is Dave, and the way you save America is you vote for Tulsi Gabbard. Sunglasses, yes, I wear them because I'm light sensitive. I don't want to squint, and there are bags under my eyes, okay? And I keep getting questions. I keep people commenting on threads. I don't know. There are more important things to worry about than how I present this. I don't have a fancy studio. I don't have the right kind of lighting. Maybe someday, okay? Maybe when I hit it big, I can fund the studio that I need to build and so forth. But for now, it's just me inside my house doing videos. And so far, the response has been great. I'm approaching 500 subscribers, which is good. The channel has been up for a short amount of time. I have people commenting on how content like this is hard to find in the mainstream media. Content in the mainstream media, I mean, it's impossible to find. RT America is a good place to actually get news. Rick Sanchez is a guy. I wish he was on for a longer period of time and 5 days a week, but he's not. But their headline news, I think, is terrific, and they have a lot of programs that are great. But I appreciate people who are out there who are former Trump supporters like myself who have thrown themselves off the Trump train. And I know there are progressives out there who just hear that and they say, you were a Trump supporter? Yeah, I was a Trump supporter because I couldn't vote for Hillary Clinton, number one. And number two, I believed in some of the stuff that he was doing. As far as a human being, I was not looking to him as my role model. But I will say this, I've seen over the past couple of years how his personality and the way he talks and deals with things, how that plays very negatively. And it's like you can excuse the crazy uncle for a while, okay? That's why it'd be really interesting if Joe Biden gets in the race, because you'd have two crazy uncles going back and forth. But in any event, you can excuse it to some degree, but it gets tough after a while. You're just kind of like, did he just say that again? You know, and you think to yourself, yeah, but he's working on my behalf. And then, lo and behold, he's working on behalf of the Saudi Arabian government. $350 billion in arms sales. Now, you know, the true capitalists out there would say, hey, that's good money in our coffers, $350 million. Okay, but all kinds of aid as well. And where else could that money actually go? You know, instead of spending the money on buying weapons for these people, okay, and yeah, I know, private companies make the weapons and so forth, and then these weapons are used to kill people in Yemen. See, this is just nuts. This is why we don't do regime change. We shouldn't be doing regime change wars, all right? And I'm just, I am totally done with this aspect of our foreign policy. Tulsi Gabbard is the answer. The people who are switching, and there are people, because I had a comment on one of the threads from the videos that I've been doing saying, Dave, there's got to be thousands of people. And I agree with that comment. It's like the silent switch. I mean, the people, look, there are some progressive things that Tulsi is for that some who support Trump are probably going to be like, really? Okay, but here's the thing. Like I keep saying, if you're saving trillions of dollars because you're not fighting regime change wars, your billion-dollar program, or even if your program costs $5 billion, I mean, that's like what? Some military hardware for like a week? Seriously. And Jimmy Dore aptly points out, we never talk about how we're going to pay for all these military. How are we going to pay for the $350 billion worth of aid we're giving to Saudi Arabia? How are we going to pay for that? We're going to raise taxes? You know, nobody talks about that. They just do it, and that's why we're $22 trillion in debt. So why would Trump supporters want to switch to Tulsi? Because Trump supporters, for the most part, really did care about that issue. People said, yeah, I'm glad he's not an interventionalist. I mean, all the Rand Paul people kind of went away because they saw Trump. Trump was saying, I mean, I remember reading Reason magazine or whatever online. They're saying, well, Trump is the best choice if you don't want endless wars. How'd that work out? It's not working out too good, and it's happening right now in real time with Mike Pompeo getting up there and just bragging about all of this aid that we're giving to the Saudi Arabian government. And even though the Senate slapped it all down and said, no, we don't want it, he's up there saying, oh, but we're going to do it anyway. I don't know what's going on, people. I didn't see this coming because Trump was an outsider. I thought he had his own agenda, and that agenda included actually curbing these foreign interventions, but he's full speed ahead. Like I said, something happened somewhere along the way where he just said, screw it. I'm just going to go along with the military-industrial complex. By the way, words that Tulsi Gabbard used in a speech yesterday or the day before. That's why she's a great candidate. She's not afraid, she's fearless, and she's taking on the issue that it's like the third rail, you know? It's like, don't go there, Tulsi, you know? But she's doing it, and that's courage. That's the kind of leadership we need, somebody with that kind of courage to go after the one area that seems like it's unbendable. No matter who gets into the White House, they may run on this agenda, and you may love that agenda. They get into the White House, that stuff is all sort of window dressing for the crap that's going to happen within the military-industrial complex that they're going to sign off on, or they're going to sit there and be a puppet. They're not going to go to the press and say, hey, this is what's happening in the underground portions of our government. CIA, you know, FBI, whoever, Homeland, they're all in this. They're all in this together, okay? And they, you know, and here's the other part of this. Republicans are supposedly the party of small government, except when it comes to the military-industrial complex. George W. Bush, yeah, we need Homeland Security. We need another agency. I mean, and a huge agency. And it's redundancy to me. You've got the CIA, the FBI, and Homeland Security. And then you got private military contractors, mercenaries who go out there and do this kind of stuff too, and you're paying them a ton of money because they're better than the government hired goons. I mean, and I don't mean to call anybody who's a soldier a goon. I mean, I'm talking about the alphabet soup stuff. So, bottom line as to why Trump supporters are switching and should switch is because words mean things and policies matter. And if the country is to have a future, it needs to change course on this one issue. And if it doesn't change course on this one issue, you're not going to be able to fund any of your priorities, and your money is going to be worthless. It's going to be continuously devalued. Your real estate holdings, everything. It will affect everything across the board. It will be economic catastrophe down the road. And, you know, I'm willing to listen to progressives talk about Medicare or talk about some of the other issues. You know, they're talking about climate change a lot. As long as it's reasonable, sensible, and other people. And this is another important thing that Tulsi Gabbard mentioned, is that if we get into any kind of climate change agreement, people around the world have to participate in it. It just can't be the United States because it will have very little impact. I know we create a lot of crap in the atmosphere as our one country, you know, compared to other countries, but everybody's got to get on board or the effects are going to be very negligible. It won't have any benefit long term. It might have a little short term benefit. And so that's my feelings on that. So again, if you're a Trump supporter and you're looking for refuge, please check out Tulsi Gabbard. She might be too classy to be president. She might be too articulate to be president. She might be too measured and too thought out to be president. But let's keep pulling for her chances until, who knows, the establishment goes completely berserk and tries to get her taken out for some reason, they'll find some fake dirt on her and try to smear. And if they don't smear with dirt, they're going to keep smearing with this foreign policy crap, which they don't understand foreign policy. If they did, they wouldn't be cheering for regime change wars. All right, done with this video. Thanks again for subscribing and tuning in. This channel continues to grow. I'd like to get to 1,000 subscribers, and it looks like that might happen soon. So let's keep moving forward. Talk to you soon.